You want to get your neighbor's attention? Come on, I'll show you how. Man, today we are doing a special, something that's been on my mind, a cheesesteak sandwich, and there's nothing better than cooking up onions and peppers on the grill, or griddle I mean, and letting the aroma go flying through the air. So I'm ready to get everybody's attention in the neighborhood. Come on, I'll show you how we're gonna make it today. All right, part one. Let's create our flatbread for our cheesesteaks. This is a viral recipe that's been around for a little while now, and it's viral for a reason because it's simple and it's easy. And not only that, it tastes great. It's only got a couple ingredients. We have our eggs, 2 eggs, and a cup of cottage cheese. And I've incorporated a teaspoon of Italian seasoning in mine. You can season it with garlic powder or whatever you like. I like how the Italian season gives us a good flavor. So really 3 ingredients. So let's mix all this up and have it sitting to the side so we can put our cheesesteak on it. And for this process, I'm going to be using an immersion blender. If you don't have one, you can use a blender or something like that. So we've got the handy dandy immersion blender. Just threw everything in there. And before I started all this, I got my oven preheating at 350 because by the time I get this done, that'll be ready. Let's blend this up. So when you get done blending, it should look like almost like pancake batter. I mean, is the way I compare it. So now we're going to just transfer it to a pan. And I have a pan. I got a little piece of parchment paper here. That definitely need parchment paper for this. It helps a lot. If not, use a well-oiled pan or whatever, but parchment paper is going to save the day on this one for sure. And if you have a hard time with your parchment paper, keeps rolling up or whatever, just wad it up. I know it sounds crazy. Just wad it up in a ball and then it'll lay flat. That's why it's got all those crinkles in it. I'm going to pour this right in the center here, and then I'm going to work it out to make a nice rectangle. I hope. Man, that Italian seasoning smells really nice in that. But I'm just going to work this out. This is a 9 by 13 pan, and I'm going to work it out as far as I can. Leave it a little bit thick. I'm not going paper thin with it or anything like that. This is going to be our hoagie. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's about as rectangular as I can get it, and it'll flatten out a little bit more in the oven. But I think that's what I'm going to run with. Here's our flatbread. We're going to go put it in the oven that's preheated at 350 degrees for around 30 minutes. But keep an eye on it. And a lot of times I'll take mine out about 20-25 minutes and actually flip it over and get the bottom nice and toasted as well. So you can do that, or you can just cook it straight up 30 minutes or whatever. But keep an eye on it. Let's get it in the oven. While that's in the oven cooking up, let's go ahead and start slicing up our ingredients. A couple simple ingredients. I got a big old onion and I got a bell pepper here. So let's chop this up. I'm not an expert chopper or anything, but I'd usually just chop off the top and the bottom and peel the onions till the outer skin's gone, and then I lay them up on the sides there and just kind of chop them up. So let's do that, and then we'll carry on. And there's that. And then we'll do our bell pepper basically the same way. We'll just chop the top off of it and then the bottom and roll it out. So let's do that. Top, bottom. And then of course you can just pop the top out of this. It'll pop right out usually like that. And just lay this down and you can go ahead and start with it. And do the bottom the same way. Just about the same width as the onions. And the trick to this is all you got to do is go down like this around the veins, the white part, and just run your knife down through there. Real simple. Now I say it's simple, but you get the picture. just like that, and then that middle will pop right out. Just like that, all your seeds are there. So you can set that to the side, and then just cut this in half, you know, to where you can just lay it down flat here and just do your little slices. So yeah, this is what it looks like straight out of the oven. The edges will get a little crispy, but that's no problem. I'm going to put this to the side for a few minutes while we get started on our steak. Cheesesteaks can be made with any kind of meat you want to put in it. But I've got some real thin sliced ribeyes here. These were manager special because, I mean, they're really thin. And that's kind of what we're wanting. So what I'm going to do is cut all these into strips. I'm going to try to just slice them up into nice thin strips, sort of like the same consistency as the onions and the peppers. So let's get this all chopped up. And of course you can trim off as much fat as you want. That's up to you. I don't mind a little bit of fat in mine. Just about a 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, like that right there. It slices real easy. And while I'm thinking about it, you know, I never had a cheesesteak sandwich before in my life until a few years ago. A local restaurant up the road had some, and I wanted to try them out. It's funny because when I was a kid, I didn't like peppers or onions. And then something happened to my taste buds, and I just started liking them. But anyway, so I tried this steak up there at her restaurant. It wasn't keto or anything. It was made with the real hoagie and things like that. But it was the best one ever, and I loved it, and I've been hooked on them ever since. And sadly, that place closed down. So anytime you have an opportunity to support your local places, do it, because once they're gone, they're gone. All right, I'm going to speed this up and just finish up this slicing process, and we'll get them on the griddle. And there we have our sliced up steak, and it's ready to go. So I'm ready to go if it's ready to go. Y'all ready to go? Let's go. I've got everything out here ready to cook up. I got some provolone, I got some onions, my peppers, my steak. I've got my flatbread here. Let's get it going. So I've got my grill warmed up here. I'm getting ready to throw a little bit of avocado on there, oil, and some butter. And the one on this side over here is the hot side. I'm leaving this side a little bit cooler. Throw me some butter on there. Now I'm going to start out with the vegetables. So what I'm going to do is just cook these till they're about tender to the way I like them, and then I'm going to move them over to the cooler side and do my steak up real quick. It's not going to take long to do that steak because it's so thin. Really my first time using the flat top on this charbroil. I've done a complete review on this grill. If you'd like to look at it, it'll be in the description. But yeah, this is my first time using it for this application. I've done the smash burgers and things like that, but I'm excited to try this. I'm not expert at it, as you can tell by my technique, but anyway, I'm learning. My whole point of my channel is that if I can do it, you can do it, and most of the time when I'm doing it is the very first time I've ever tried it, and so that's the case today. And also, if you don't have a flat top, you can do all this in a frying pan. You can do, you know, and use 2 frying pans, one with your veggies and one with your steak, and then combine it later on and then just get it all together. I like to season everything with Killer Hog's AP seasoning. This is salt, pepper, and garlic. Real good blend. I like his products. I like him as a outdoor cook. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there, and then we'll season the steaks as well. All right, I've moved my peppers and onions to this side here, and now I'm going to use that side again for the good old steak. There's the steak that we sliced up. Throw it right on there. W sauce, I'm going to go with that. And going to add a little bit of that.
Also going to go back with some more of this. So, and this is, I've doubled this thing up and I've added some extras here because I am making this for dinner today, so I hope it turns out okay. We don't want to cook it to death here, we just want it good brown a little bit.
Hey, while you're sitting here watching this food cook, let me invite you to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm always cooking up simple, easy things like this, and come back next week and see what's next.
All right, that looks the way I like it there. Looks good to me. So now we're going to marry these two together. I now pronounce you cheesesteak sandwich material. Yeah, okay. What I'm going to do now is add some American cheese. I got about 5 slices, and we're going to make that all nice and gooey. If you don't want to use American cheese, feel free to use what you like. I'm going to let that there get happy for a second. And the old American cheese does something magical to it. So I have been told. Like I said, this is my first attempt at this. So as you can see, it's all gooey and done. So I'm going to turn the burners off. And then what I'm going to do is spread provolone on my flatbread over here. So I've got 3 pieces of provolone, and what I'm going to do is lay that right in the middle. Nice, nice. Just like that. And then I'm going to top it with some more. Like that right there. And then I'm going to fold this up and put it back on there and let it melt for a second. Right, I've got that there. Tidy it up just a little bit. Stir this, make sure it's not burning. Put our dome over it. Just let it get a little bit of steam and melt in there. And then we'll put together our next monster one. Alright, here's our finished product. I'm ready to dig in and see how this is. This is one that I sliced in half. So, got plenty of extras. So actually I've got like 4 of these sections here. I made up another one too. So, let's try it out and see how it is. Alright. It is taste test time. I'm excited. I've been smelling those peppers and onions and all that going. I got the neighbors down there ready to come up here and beat me up and take my food. But we're going to try it out and see how it is. So let's get a big old mouthful of this. It's hard to eat with one hand, but I'm going to try. Wow, that's all I can say about this is wow. That is worth the payoff. The cottage cheese bread is really just a holder for the meat and cheese and all that stuff anyway, but it adds a nice little flair to it. It's got a good texture. I've got it the way I like it with the tender peppers and onions. Give this one a try. And you know, if you don't want to use the flatbread recipe, you can just put this in a bowl and go to town with your fork. It's that good. Just melt all the cheese on top of it in the microwave or something and go at it. But hey, thumbs up, going in my playlist. It's not really a playlist. Anyway, a rotation of recipes. So I'm going to enjoy them.
That was real simple to make, and best of all, I know it may have been confusing with all my measurements and stuff because I was making a lot, but if you got a pound of meat, 1 large onion, and 1 large bell pepper, and you can make 2 flatbreads, 2 loaves or pans, you can get 4 big sandwiches, or you can divide it up into however you want to, but it'll make 4 really big sandwiches with that. So I had like, goodness, I don't know how many servings, but it was good. I broke it down and ate them up. So for lunch, hey, give it a try. Till next time, may the Lord bless you and come back and see me.